The Smith family lived in a quiet neighborhood in Atlanta. The house was always filled with chatter, but there was one subject that brought silence: education. Mr. Smith, a tall man with stern eyes, believed strongly in education, but he had his own way of deciding which child deserved the family support. Angela Smith, his eldest daughter, had always been a brilliant student. She had graduated with top honors from her undergraduate program, her professors praising her for her discipline and sharp mind. Her dream was to pursue a master's degree in England. From the time she was 16, she had filled her notebooks with plans of studying abroad. One evening, she gathered the courage to bring it up at the dinner table. "Daddy," she began, her voice hopeful, "I've been accepted into a master's program at the University of Birmingham in England. It's a great opportunity. I was hoping you'd support me." Her mother, Mrs. Smith, smiled proudly. "That's wonderful news, Angie. Your father should be proud of you." But Mr. Smith did not smile. He set down his fork, cleared his throat, and said firmly, "Angela, I have heard you. But your brother, Eddie, has also been accepted to a school in England. And as the man of the house, my priority is him. I cannot afford to sponsor both of you. He will go. You will stay." The words fell like thunder. Angela's mouth opened in shock. "What? Daddy, that's not fair. I worked hard for this. I earned my place." Eddie shifted uncomfortably in his chair. "Sis, maybe you can try again later. You know how Dad is." Tears welled in Angela's eyes. "So because I'm a girl, my dreams don't matter?" she asked, her voice trembling. Mr. Smith's face hardened. "It is not about you being a girl. It is about legacy. A son carries the family name. Eddie must be given the opportunity first." Her mother looked down, torn between her husband's authority and her daughter's pain. "Maybe there's a way," she whispered. "There is no way," Mr. Smith cut in sharply. "My decision is final." Angela pushed away her plate, her appetite gone. "Then I'll find a way on my own," she said, her voice low but firm. She rose from the table, her eyes burning with anger and determination. Upstairs, she cried into her pillow. She could hear Eddie pacing in his room. A soft knock came at her door. It was him. "Angie, I didn't ask for this," Eddie said quietly. "You know I'm not as serious about school as you are. But Dad, he wants this for me. What do you want me to do?" Angela sat up, wiping her tears. "I don't blame you, Eddie. But I won't let this stop me. I'll work. I'll save. I'll get there myself." Eddie sighed, guilt written all over his face. "I wish things were different." "They will be," Angela whispered. "You'll see." From that night on, something changed in her. She no longer waited for approval. She started applying for part-time jobs, tutoring high school students, and even working weekends at a small diner. She saved every dollar she could. Her friends noticed her absence from parties, but Angela had one focus: England. Months passed, and Eddie traveled with their father's full support. Angela stayed behind, juggling work and preparing her visa papers. Many nights, she fell asleep on her books, exhausted but resolute. Her mother would peek into her room and whisper prayers over her. One night, her mother said softly, "Angela, you have the strength of a lioness. Your father doesn't see it yet, but the world will." Angela smiled faintly. "Mama, I will make you proud, even if I have to do it all alone." And so, while Eddie settled into his studies abroad with his father's money, Angela kept building her dream brick by brick, dollar by dollar, determined to prove that her destiny was not for anyone else to decide. Angela woke up before dawn most mornings. Her alarm rang at 4:30 a.m., and she dragged herself out of bed to prepare for her first shift at the local diner. The neighborhood streets were still quiet, but she walked briskly, her small backpack bouncing against her shoulders. Inside the diner, the smell of coffee and bacon filled the air. She tied her apron, forced a smile, and began serving customers. It wasn't glamorous work, taking orders, wiping tables, cleaning spills, but every tip mattered. By noon, she would leave for her tutoring sessions at the community library, where she taught high school students preparing for college. "Miss Angela, you make algebra so easy," one of her students said one afternoon, grinning with relief. Angela chuckled, even though her body ached from lack of rest. "Math is like life. Break it into smaller parts, and it's less scary." Every dollar she earned went into a special savings account. She avoided shopping sprees, birthdays, and outings with friends. Sometimes loneliness crept in, but she reminded herself, this is temporary. England is waiting. One evening, she returned home and overheard her father talking to Eddie on the phone. "How are you doing, son?" Mr. Smith asked warmly. "I'm fine, Dad. Classes are tough, but I'm trying," Eddie replied. "Good, good. Remember, you are the hope of this family. Make us proud." Angela's chest tightened. She slipped past the living room without being noticed. Upstairs, she buried her face in her hands. "Am I not also the hope of this family?" she thought bitterly. Later, her mother entered her room quietly. "Angela," she said gently, "don't let your father's words kill your spirit. Your journey is your own." Angela looked up, tears streaking her cheeks. "Mama, sometimes it feels like I'm invisible in this house. Like no matter what I do, it will never be enough." Her mother sat beside her, holding her hands. "Baby, some people see value only in sons, but God sees you. He will honor your hard work. Keep pushing." Those words lit a small flame inside Angela. She pressed forward. Weeks turned into months. Angela often stayed up past midnight, filling out forms, researching scholarships, and applying for her visa. She faced rejection letters too. Some scholarships said she didn't qualify. Some organizations never replied. Each rejection stung, but she refused to give up. One night, her best friend Jasmine stopped by. Jasmine was surprised to see Angela surrounded by paperwork, her eyes red from fatigue. "Girl, you look like you haven't slept in a week," Jasmine said. Angela laughed weakly. "Sleep is expensive. I'm saving it for England." Jasmine shook her head. "I admire you, Angela. Most people would have given up by now, but you're still fighting. I know you'll get there." "I have to," Angela whispered. "Not just for me, but for every girl who was ever told she wasn't enough." Finally, after almost a year of saving, her account balance reached the amount she needed for her tuition deposit and first year's expenses. The day she transferred the funds, she cried tears of joy. She held the bank receipt like a trophy. When she told her father, he stared at her in disbelief. "You managed this all by yourself?" he asked, his tone mixed with shock and a trace of something else, pride, though he tried to hide it. "Yes, Daddy," Angela replied, her chin lifted. "I'm going to England, with or without your blessing." Mr. Smith cleared his throat. "Well, you are determined. I'll give you that. Do what you must." For the first time, Angela felt like she had earned a small victory over the wall that had been placed before her. The day she boarded the plane, her mother hugged her tightly at the airport. "Remember, baby," she whispered, "the sky is not your limit. It's your starting point." Angela smiled through her tears. "Mama, when I come back, it will not just be with a degree, it will be with honor." And with that, she stepped onto the plane, her heart pounding with fear and excitement. She was alone, yes, but she carried within her the strength of every sacrifice she had made. Angela's heart raced as the plane touched down at Birmingham International Airport. She pressed her forehead against the cool window, staring at the gray skies above England. Everything looked different. The architecture, the cars driving on the opposite side of the road, even the voices around her. She clutched her small suitcase, the one she had bought from a thrift store, and whispered to herself, "This is it. No turning back." The first few weeks were overwhelming. She missed home terribly, though she never admitted it in her phone calls. Rent was high, so she shared a cramped room with 2 other students. The tiny space barely fit their beds, but Angela was grateful for a roof over her head. Her classes were intense. Professors spoke quickly, and at times the British accent confused her. She took notes furiously, recording lectures whenever she could. After classes, she worked part-time at a supermarket, stacking shelves late into the night. One evening, after a grueling shift, Angela sat in her small room eating instant noodles. Her roommate, a cheerful Nigerian student named Chika, looked at her with concern. "Angela, you hardly eat real food. You'll fall sick," Chika said. Angela smiled faintly. "Food can wait. My degree cannot." Chika shook her head. "Girl, you're stubborn, but I like it. Just promise me you'll take care of yourself." The cultural differences often made her feel out of place. Some classmates went to the pub after lectures, but Angela couldn't afford such luxuries. Instead, she spent her evenings buried in books, her mind fixed on one goal: I must succeed. Phone calls home were bittersweet. Eddie always had updates about his studies, while their father praised him endlessly. "Eddie is making us proud," Mr. Smith boasted one evening over the phone. "He will surely carry this family's name high." Angela bit her lip, tears threatening to spill. "I'm working hard too, Daddy." Yes, he interrupted. "Keep doing your best." The line went silent, leaving Angela staring at her phone in pain. Later, she confided in Chika. "Sometimes I feel invisible. No matter what I do, it will never be enough for my father." Chika placed a hand on her shoulder. "Angela, some people will never see your light until it blinds them. Keep shining anyway." Encouraged, Angela threw herself deeper into her studies. She spent long nights in the library, often the last student to leave. The security guard would joke, "Miss Smith, you practically live here." One night, after submitting a difficult assignment, she received an email from her professor. "Excellent work, Angela. Your analysis is sharp and insightful. Keep this up." Her eyes filled with tears of relief. For once, someone saw her. The struggle wasn't just academic, it was financial. Her wages barely covered rent and tuition. Some nights she went to bed hungry. Other times, she walked long distances to save on bus fare. She wrote home less often, hiding her hardships from her mother, who would only worry. But in her quiet moments, Angela prayed. She knelt beside her bed, whispering, "God, I didn't come this far to fail. Give me strength." And strength came, through friendships, through small victories in class, and through the fire of her determination. One cold winter night, she called Jasmine back home. Her voice trembled as she confessed, "Jasmine, it's hard. Sometimes I feel like giving up." Jasmine's voice on the other end was firm. "No, Angela. You didn't fight this hard to quit. Remember why you started. Remember the day your father told you no. You are proving him wrong every single day." Angela wiped her tears, smiling despite the pain. "You're right. I won't stop. Not now." As months passed, her efforts began to show. Her grades climbed. Professors recognized her. She was invited to join academic workshops. Slowly, Angela's confidence grew. Though her path was lonely and hard, she carried herself with quiet strength. Deep down, she knew every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every meal skipped, was shaping her into the woman she was destined to become. And in that quiet knowledge, Angela found peace. Peace that whispered, "This struggle is not forever. Victory is coming." The campus library had become Angela's second home. She was often there until the lights dimmed and the janitors came to sweep the floors. Her notebooks were filled with scribbles, diagrams, and highlighted lines. Every page was proof of the battle she fought alone. One evening, Professor Williams, her research methods lecturer, stopped by her desk. He peered at the thick pile of notes beside her. "Miss Smith," he said, smiling kindly, "I see you more than I see my own children." Angela laughed nervously. "I suppose I'm just trying to keep up." The professor shook his head. "No, Angela. You're not keeping up. You're setting the pace. Your last paper was outstanding. If you continue like this, you will graduate with top honors." Her chest swelled with pride. For a moment, she allowed herself to imagine it, walking across the stage, cap and gown on, her name announced before an applauding crowd. She whispered silently, "Yes, it will happen." But the journey remained hard. Some days, she worked 2 shifts at the supermarket, then rushed to class half asleep. Other days, she skipped meals to pay for textbooks. Still, she never missed a deadline. At night, when she called home, her father's indifference cut deep. "How's Eddie?" he would ask before anything else. "He's fine," Angela answered curtly. "And you?" "I'm doing well, Daddy. I'm working hard." "Good. Just keep trying." His voice lacked warmth, like her efforts were an afterthought. After the call, Angela sat in silence, staring at her phone. Her roommate, Chica, found her wiping her eyes. "Angela, don't cry over his words," Chica said softly. "You are more than his blindness. Don't let it dim your fire." Angela nodded slowly. "I know. It just hurts sometimes." To fight the loneliness, she built a small circle of friends: Chica, a Kenyan student named Daniel, and a Jamaican classmate named Rochelle. They studied together, shared meals, and encouraged each other. One late night, as they huddled over textbooks in the library, Daniel leaned back and said, "Angela, you're the most disciplined person I've ever met. Do you even sleep?" Angela chuckled. "I'll sleep after graduation." Rochelle laughed. "Girl, you're going to graduate with a crown on your head at this rate." Angela smiled, the words giving her energy. Her hard work soon began to pay off. She was selected to represent her class at an international student research conference. Standing on the stage in front of academics from around the world, she presented her paper with confidence. At the end, applause thundered through the hall. Professor Williams pulled her aside afterward. "Angela, you have something rare: brilliance and resilience. Never let anyone tell you otherwise." That night, she called her mother back home. "Mama," she said excitedly, "I was chosen to present at a conference." Everyone applauded. "Even my professors are proud of me." Her mother's voice cracked with joy. "Angela, my daughter, you have made me proud. I knew your star would shine. Don't stop now." Angela hesitated. "Did Daddy hear?" Her mother sighed. "He knows. But you know how he is. Don't let his silence steal your happiness." Angela closed her eyes, letting her mother's words soak in. "Thank you, Mama. One day, he'll have no choice but to see me." The days turned into months. Exams approached, and Angela studied harder than ever. Her friends sometimes begged her to rest, but she couldn't slow down. Every sleepless night felt like a step closer to vindication. On the day results were released, Angela's hands shook as she logged into the school portal. Her eyes widened as the grades appeared: first-class honors. She let out a scream, startling her roommates. "I did it!" she shouted, laughing and crying at the same time. Chica hugged her tightly. "You're unstoppable, Angela. Look at you." Angela's heart raced with gratitude. "This is for every no I've ever heard. This is for every time I was told I wasn't enough." In that moment, she realized something powerful. Her father's rejection had not broken her, it had built her. She was rising, higher than she ever imagined. The graduation hall was buzzing with excitement. Students in gowns laughed and took selfies. Proud parents waved from the seats, and professors lined up in their robes. Angela stood backstage, her cap pinned carefully on her hair, her heart pounding like a drum. When her name was called, Angela Smith, first-class honors, the hall erupted with applause. She walked across the stage, head high, tears threatening to spill. Her professor handed her the scroll, whispering, "You've earned every bit of this." After the ceremony, she was invited to give a short speech as one of the top students. Standing at the podium, Angela took a deep breath. "I came here with nothing but determination," she began. "There were days I was hungry, nights I was lonely, and times I almost gave up. But I stand here today to say, hard work, resilience, and faith can take you places even when no one believes in you." The audience clapped. Some students cried. Angela felt her voice steady. "To every young woman told she is less, let my journey remind you, you are more than enough." Later that night, she called home. Her mother answered first. "Baby, we heard the news. You graduated with first class." "Yes, Mama." Angela laughed through tears. "I did it." Her mother's voice trembled. "I am so proud of you. Your father is here too." A silence, then her father's voice came on the line, gruff. "Congratulations, Angela." Angela froze. "Thank you, Daddy." There was a pause. You've done well. I didn't think you could manage it, but you proved me wrong." Angela swallowed the lump in her throat. "I didn't do it to prove you wrong. I did it because I believed I could." Her father cleared his throat. "Well, you made us proud." For the first time, Angela heard something in his tone that sounded like respect. When Angela returned home, the neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Neighbors gathered at the gate, clapping and cheering. "The girl who made it," they shouted. "Angela is back with honors." Her mother hugged her so tightly she almost couldn't breathe. But her father stood at the doorway, arms crossed, pride hidden beneath his stern face. Inside the house, Eddie was sitting on the couch, shoulders slumped. He had also returned from England, but unlike Angela, he had struggled with his courses and failed to secure a good job. "Welcome back, sis," Eddie said quietly. "Thank you, Eddie," Angela replied warmly, though she saw the pain in his eyes. At dinner, their father tried to keep the balance. "Both my children have returned. We thank God." But neighbors and relatives whispered loudly, "Angela is the true star." She paid her own way, and still came back with first class. Eddie had everything handed to him, but what did he bring? Eddie grew bitter. One night, he confronted Angela. "Do you enjoy this? Everyone comparing us? Everyone saying you're better." Angela sighed. "Eddie, I never wanted to compete with you. I just wanted to follow my dream." "Yeah, but now I'm the disappointment," Eddie muttered. Angela placed a hand on his arm. "Brother, you're not a disappointment. You just need to find your own path. Don't let jealousy eat you." Eddie looked away, unable to reply. Weeks later, Angela received an email that changed everything. A job offer from one of the biggest companies in America. She screamed with joy and ran to show her mother. "Mama, they want me. They're offering me a position in their headquarters. This is huge." Her mother clapped her hands. "Glory be to God. My daughter, this is your reward." When her father heard, he could no longer hide his emotions. He pulled her aside, his voice softer than she had ever heard. "Angela, I may not have believed in you, but today, I see I was wrong. You have brought honor to this family. Forgive me for doubting you." Angela's eyes filled with tears. "Daddy, I just wanted you to see me. That's all I ever wanted." He nodded, shame flickering in his eyes. "I see you now." Meanwhile, Eddie struggled even more. He applied for jobs but was rejected repeatedly. Friends who once praised him now avoided him. One evening, he confessed bitterly to Angela, "I don't understand how you, the one Dad never supported, ended up on top, while I, with every advantage, ended up with nothing." Angela placed her hand on his shoulder. "Because, Eddie, success is not given, it's earned. You can still rise, but you have to want it badly enough." Her words sank deep, though Eddie said nothing. Angela left for her new job in America, carrying her degree, her determination, and her scars. The office tower in New York shimmered in the sunlight, and as she walked in on her first day, she whispered, "This is just the beginning." Back home, her story became an inspiration. Girls in her neighborhood began to dream bigger. Mothers used Angela's name when encouraging their daughters. If Angela could do it, so can you. Her father, once blind to her worth, now told neighbors proudly, "That's my daughter. The one who works for a big company in America." Eddie, slowly humbled by failure, began to listen. He took Angela's advice, started small, and rebuilt his life. Their relationship healed, though scars of rivalry remained. One evening during a visit home, Angela sat with her father on the porch. "Daddy," she said gently, "you once told me Eddie was the hope of this family. But I want you to know, I never wanted to take his place. I only wanted to walk my path." Her father's eyes softened. "Angela, you've taught me something I should have known long ago. Sons or daughters, it doesn't matter. What matters is determination. And you have shown me more than I ever expected." Angela smiled. "Then let my journey be a lesson, for you, for Eddie, for everyone. No one has the right to decide another's destiny." As the sun set, Angela felt peace wash over her. Her story was no longer just about her. It was about every girl told no, every dream denied, every battle fought in silence. She had turned rejection into victory, and her life was now a beacon for others. And with that, she walked forward into her future. Not just a daughter, not just a graduate, but a woman who had proven to the world, and to herself, that her worth could never be denied.